Plaintiff Joseph Hart says he and the defendant have been friends for 10 years, and unfortunately, they let a girl come between them. Joseph admits that one night while he was drinking, he and the defendant's girlfriend hooked up, but Joseph insists she was nothing but a tramp who cheated on the defendant several times. Joseph is suing his former friend for stolen tools. Defendant Stephen Zucco says he was disgusted when he walked into his home one day to find his girlfriend having sex with Joseph. Stephen says after he kicked his girlfriend out, he got into a scuffle with Joseph, and the police were called. Then, he immediately told Joseph's wife about his infidelity. Stephen's countersuing for unpaid wages.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, me and Stephen have been friends for about 10 years and have recently let a stupid girl come between us. A very stupid girl, if I might add.
What's stupid about her?
Well, she's ruined a 10-year friendship for one.
But how does that make her stupid?
She
That
ain't
might
the stupid
make him
one, Your
stupid.
Honor. He is. Because it comes bros before hoes. You know? And he let things happen, and they shouldn't have happened. Because I considered him a brother, because we've known each other for so long. When I first moved to Nebraska, he was there for me as my left-hand man. So I figured he let things get ruined.
Who was your right-hand man?
Myself.
Okay.
And he let things escalate when he could have stopped it.
How? What happened?
I went out job hunting for 2 days because I was tired of getting cut out of pay. Came home and didn't know he was there, walked in through the back door. He was sitting on my couch and my woman was between his legs giving him oral pleasure.
Your Honor, it didn't even happen like that. It didn't even happen like that, Your Honor.
So things escalated.
Besides, if you took care of your woman, I wouldn't have to.
We started fighting. Things got broken. The police were called. He split, and I left and told her I wanted her out of my house before I came back. Went and found his wife and told her everything. And that is why we are where we are today.
Your Honor. What happened is, previously, the night before, I should say, me and him and our spouses went out together to the club and had a good time, which is something we commonly did.
Yes.
And I came over the next day to discuss business for the coming week of what we're going to do. He was a supervisor for me, and so that's something we commonly did on the weekends to discuss what we're going to do throughout the week. When I went over there on August 28th, his girlfriend at the time answered the door and stated that Mr. Zucco was not home, that there was a death in the family, and he was out of town, is what I was told by her. She had invited me to come in to have a drink, even though that he wasn't there, which is something, you know, it's something that's not out of the ordinary. You know, I've come home several times, and he's been sitting on my couch with my wife because we're friends.
So it's not out of the ordinary.
No, sir, it was not.
All right, go ahead.
And so we're sitting there having conversation and basically, you know, talking about work, small talk. And, you know, basically the next thing I know, she went back to the bedroom to change, comes out, almost no clothes on, Your Honor, and starts telling me about how she's had feelings for me for years and thinks I had the same ones for her by the way I look at her when we go out together with as a couple, mind you. And, you know, I'd been drinking, I guess, you know, one cup turned to one bottle, and the next thing you know, zip, 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 you know, the clothes started coming off, and I let the wrong head think for me, Your Honor. It wasn't that I came to
He was using the wrong head to think with, Your Honor.
I used the wrong head to think with when I hired you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
your
why
mistake.
wouldn't you be just as guilty of stupidity? You keep saying that she's stupid.
You know,
Why
Your
would-
Honor, I made mistakes. I didn't go over there to intentionally
All right.
get with his
Is that
woman.
the only reason you're calling her stupid?
No, sir. She's been known as a tramp. She's cheated on Stephen before in the past, which he knows about. He's told me himself how he was going to leave her and this and that. You know, she's a bad woman, and I'm glad she found out.
How
I'm glad
many
he found
times
out.
has he discovered her cheating? You say she's a tramp.
He's caught her 3 times cheating on her. Not that he's much better. He has 3 kids with 3 different women, so I mean, he's a crackhead.
While going with her?
Yes, sir.
I have 2 kids by one woman and 1 by another. He's
While going with this woman?
No, this was way before her.
All right.
Your Honor.
It's the town we live in. It's a small town.
And there's a shortage of women?
And she gets around, Your Honor. And she gets around in the small town.
Yeah.
How did your wife respond?
Well, I actually went home after Stephen and Cos. We'd wrestle around on the floor and whatnot. And worst comes to worst, push comes to shove. We were sitting there fighting on the floor. And the whole time she's sitting there verbally abusing him, calling him a dog, saying if you took care of me, I wouldn't have your boss over here doing it for you. And so, you know, like I said, she's a terrible woman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So when your wife found out, what happened?
Well, I came home that night from after him and I had fought and whatnot because his girl was sitting there and she said she was going to call the cops. So I instantly got up and took off running to my truck. And being I own a business, I don't need that crap in the paper anyhow. When I got home, I walked in the house and like any guy, I tried to play like there was nothing wrong, like nothing had happened. And I could see by the look on her face, the face of the devil, that I was in trouble. Hey, baby, how's it going? She's, don't even try that with me.
Then what happened?
Well, basically, you know, it was time to pack a bag and go elsewhere for the night to call Mama and see if I could come stay the night at her house.
Okay.
And I did. Just went out to my mom's, and right now me and my wife are currently taking a separation, trying to work our problems out through counseling and whatnot.
All right, good. You're going to counseling. All
Exactly.
right, that's good.
She happens to believe there is a room for a second chance, so I'm appreciative of that, Your Honor.
That's a big second chance.
All right, let's talk about the tools you're suing him over. What's that about? What happened?
Well, that date was on a Saturday, Your Honor. That following Monday, I come to work, and I have 2 construction trailers. They're enclosed job trailers. They have gutter machines in them and hand tools, your saws, the whole 9 yards to do a job site. Mr. Zuko here was one of my foremen for about 5 years working for me, and he had one of the trailers in his possession that he had keys to, and no one else on his crew had keys to. I got into his trailer after he didn't show up to work that morning and opened up the trailer and noticed several of my tools missing. After calling Mr. Zuko here, he did not answer his phone, wouldn't text back, wouldn't send me no emails back, and just was pretty much just ignoring me over the whole course of the next week and whatnot. After talking to a couple of his friends and whatnot, I had found out that Steven was actually the one who stole my tools and felt that he just thought I wasn't going to pay him, and so he just took the tools and got rid of them and got his own pay.
Saturday was the incident regarding the women.
Correct.
Yes.
And you all's fight. And then Monday is when he took your tools.
Well,
you believe he took them.
I think he came in on Sunday because he has keys to the gate.
Okay.
So I think he came in there.
Discovered it on Monday.
Correct.
And you think the reason he did it is because he assumed you weren't going to pay him because of the altercation. All right. What type of company do you have?
I own a construction and roofing company.
Okay.
I'm accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Been in business for 5 years.
Really? How old are you?
I am 25.
So you've been in business since you're 20. You have
Yes,
your
sir.
own. How many employees?
I have 42 employees.
What?
Yes, sir. Fully insured, accredited by the Better Business
Very
Bureau.
busy.
Take care of my customers.
Very busy guy.
Congratulations. I'm glad to hear that. And I hope a lot of young men in your position or who are in their young adult years heard that, because so many young men think there's nothing out there for them, and they think that they can't make it through college, so they get discouraged and they fall into this subculture of crime. And
I did the crime thing as a juvenile.
Right. So I was speaking to some young men in Gary, Indiana, where I'm trying to mentor, and they'll be here in the courtroom shortly. And I'm going to enroll them in a skilled trades program.
Wonderful.
And I advocate that all the time in my program in Detroit at our community center. And I tell them all the time, as I've told prisoners as well, skilled trades are valuable because you can become wealthy or rich off of a skilled trade. You get your apprenticeship. You're going to, if you want to be a carpenter, for example, you go and get a carpenter apprenticeship for 3 years. That apprenticeship pays well. Think between $20 and $40 an hour. Once you obtain your contracting license after 3 years of apprenticeship, I think the income is like $60 an hour as a licensed carpenter. Am I about right?
You're dead on, sir.
And then after working under someone, you save your money and start your own company.
Correct.
Like this young man, and he has, by age 25, 42 employees. I wish these young men from Gary were here already, but they'll be here shortly. If you stick around for a minute, if you're here long enough, I'd like for you to meet them.
Yes, sir.
So that they can see it in the flesh.
I would love to.
So hats off to you, great example.
Thank you.
Now let's get into the stolen tools he's referring to. Tell me about it.
Well, that he is right. It was that Sunday after everything happened between the woman thing. It was that Sunday that I felt I was wronged and I wanted my money, and I knew I wasn't going to get it either way if I talked to him like a
After
gentleman.
I give you an opportunity to work for me and teach you a trade.
All right, sir.
You did. You did. You gave me opportunity.
That's how
I
you
give you
repaid
that. You gave me. You helped me out big time.
Glad to hear you appreciate it. A
And
lot of
then
people don't.
It started off great. I worked till the job was done, no matter what the weather was like. I was there every day, never missed a day. And then my checks started getting smaller. So I didn't say nothing. I let things fly because I figured he has kids to take care of just like I do, and I understood.
All right.
So I didn't hound him for it. I asked him a few times here and there, but I never hounded. And then I seen my checks kept getting smaller and smaller.
When you break more than you do, it's got to come out somewhere.
But there was no big deal. I didn't get mad about it, make a big deal about it. And so I seen that I was missing one check for a week that I did work. And
All right.
so I felt that Sunday I wasn't ever going to see my money. And after everything that happened that following Sunday, I was still hurt because he was like a brother
You did
to
take
me.
his tool?
Yes, sir, I did.
And you did keep his check?
Well, I think the proper way of going about that would have been coming to me Monday, discussing it as men, and seeing what was owed to each other, and going from there. Not coming, stealing my tools, trying to ruin my marriage, ruin my life, and go about it the whole wrong way, Your Honor. So I don't feel like I owe him anything. I've lost jobs because of him. I'm without tools because of him, and have a bad name, through on a social basis through friends of ours that we know and have hung out with.
That's your problem.
I understand that, and I'm willing to admit my mistakes.
Control yourself.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it is pretty tough when a woman comes out the back with an outfit on.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And a see-through outfit.
See-through outfit. A see-through outfit.
A see-through outfit. What do you do?
Yeah, that's pretty tough. That's pretty tough.
Like I said, the wrong head took over.
You run. You try and retreat. You try and run out.
Hide
You
next
say,
time.
oh, I'm gone.
He's right. I don't blame him. I wasn't totally mad about the whole situation, him sleeping, messing around with my woman, because it wasn't like I was in love with her.
I had beer goggles on, Your Honor. She wasn't that good looking.
All right. I'm going to grant you your judgment. He admits to taking them $1,086, but I'm also going to grant him his unpaid wages. Your only defense to that is since he has caused you problems in the community and
stole my
he
tools,
took
Your Honor,
your
I lost
tools
work.
and kept you from
Well, you make so much money, go
working.
buy some more.
You have more than $1,000 worth of tools. If you have 42 employees, I know better than that.
Yes, sir.
$1,086 is your judgment as you've asked, and $543 in unpaid wages as you've asked, and that leaves
Him with 543.
all right. All right, 543.
Right.
That's right.
Did you use
Half.
your calculator
Yeah, I did
on that?
before.
All right. 543 is your judgment.
Once you burn a bridge in life, it's burnt for good. You can't rebuild it in this situation. I guess lying does pay off in court sometimes. He's got money he wasn't owed. He's a dog.
I'm a dog. You slept with my woman. I'm the dog.